Welcome to DC2LA. I'm your host, Kevin Palermo. Now, this is our last show of the semester. Oh, no, don't go. I know, it's a tragedy. Anyways, thanks for tuning into the show. Now, remember, DC2LA is a fashion and entertainment show, so, Khloe Kardashian, Lamar, I don't know, it's the last show of the semester. Anyways, I just said that tonight is the last episode of DC2LA for this year, and it's my last episode ever. Funny how that works. Today we'll be talking to outgoing RHA President Mike Massaroli. We'll discuss all things housing registration and residence hall fires, so stick around. Welcome back to DC2LA. On Wednesday, the U.S. State Department tweeted, "Not a 10 in the U.S., then not a 10 overseas. Beware of being lured into buying expensive drinks or worse, being robbed. Hashtag spring breaking badly." Looks like the State Department wants to make America look great again. On March 26th, a Milwaukee Brewers relief pitcher tore his knee ligament while taking his shoes off. If only taking shoes off was a sport, I'd finally get my shot at being a professional athlete. Jared Fogle, the Subway spokesman turned imprisoned pedophile, is making sandwiches while in jail. Now even inmates get to eat fresher than J Street. On Wednesday, it was reported that the Fiat that carried Pope Francis around New York City would be auctioned off. The Fiat 500 Lounge, which normally goes between $19,000 and $21,000, already has an asking price of $2,500 grand. I guess if you're really interested in the Pope's Fiat, you should start up a PayPal account. Okay. Since 1973, a small city in France has made it a tradition to cook the largest omelet in the world the day after Easter. This year was no exception, with an omelet cooked last Monday with over 15,000 eggs. Which is, cool and stuff, but, who eats it? Because an omelet isn't really an easy thing to grab and go, how do they flip it? I have so many questions. Regardless, according to the AP, a Massachusetts teacher was charged with $3,000 in proceeds from stolen prom ticket sales. She has to pay back the full amount to the school and a fee of $90. But can she still go to prom? In Vermont, an 8-generation family-run farm was robbed of 63 gallons of maple syrup from their farm stand. The owner refuses to change the family's honor system tradition, even after being the victim of a theft 10 years ago that cost him 75 gallons of maple syrup. The real question, though, is how are there that many gallons of maple syrup stolen at once without anyone realizing? That's not exactly a light load to sneak, anywhere. This isn't corn we're talking about. Anyways, in GW news, the university announced that it is closing beloved dining hall J Street. DC2LA shot an exclusive last look of J Street.
The most powerful city in the world. The most desirable campus in the country. The best meal plan in the universe. Or at least it was. GW's contract with food provider and unconfirmed mafia front organization Sodexo will expire at the end of the year, and the university has stated that J Street, the current food court, will be shut down. With the clock winding down on this gastronomic institution of GW, I knew I needed to get a taste for myself. I've always wanted to be a big shot TV food critic, so I was happy to see what all the fuss was about. Once I got in, the smell of the place was immediately obvious and wonderful. The ambiance, too, was magical. My mouth was watering from the get-go. I grabbed my food as quickly as possible, paid the totally reasonable price, and headed out to my reviewing location. I'd been told that the best place to enjoy J Street food was in freshman residence and moldy piece of toast in building form, Thurston Hall. I got past the top-level security and made it upstairs. I was so excited to finally see what J Street had to offer.
Hey there, loyal viewers. I'm Quinn Warner, investigative journaliste and gastronomic expert, and today I've gotten some J Street food. I brought it to Thurston Hall for the quintessential J Street eating experience. I've even let my food cool to about room temperature, which I've heard is how you're supposed to eat it. So without further ado, we're going to try this little number here. Okay. Looks like pasta. Could be anything, though. So, pasta, we got little bits of sausage, maybe? Something like that. But I've heard lots of good stuff about J Street food, so let's go for it. Not a great start, I will say. Excited to try the rest of the food. Loving the experience so far, though. Alright, now, here we have the best looking thing that I have. We got some sort of, I'm going to say beef. Pretty unhappy about that. J Street let me down a little bit here in the first half of our meal. We're going to move on from that. This is J Street soup, which I spilled some. Sort of doesn't look like much. Pretty bad. Let's move on. For our last installation of our J Street meal, one of the final ones in existence, we have little salad. Got some orzo. Yep. Nice. Just kidding, that's bad. Alright, so that was my J Street meal. Enjoyed here in Thurston Hall. I had a great time. Not great food, I will say. I'm sure that was just small sample size, you know. We're really going to miss Sodexo and the J Street food we all grown to love. So even though I didn't particularly enjoy this meal, like at all, it was very bad. It made me physically ill. We're really going to miss them. Signing out, this is Quinn Warner for DC2LA, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Go hit up J Street before it closes. You'll probably have a better experience than I did. Or not, doesn't matter.
With that, we'll take a short commercial break, so stick around. Welcome back. Just this week, GW released its commencement speaker pick for this year's matriculating seniors. Junior Senator from New Jersey, Cory Booker. Senator Booker is an esteemed guest and won the commencement speakership over GW's second-place pick, Action Bronson. Booker is widely renowned as being a politician of the people, as evidenced by his 54,000 tweets. For context, Twitter legend Kanye West has only 700. To put that in perspective, every time Kanye posts something like, "My tweets are a form of contemporary art only compromised by people trying to tell me what to tweet and not to tweet," this sitting U.S. Senator tweets 77 times. Booker is an incredibly educated speaker. He attended Stanford University for undergraduates, followed by a Rhodes Scholarship to study at Oxford, and finally, a doctorate from Yale. He also attended GW. Never. In non-GW-related news, the month of March has been filled with complications for the DC metro system, which is to say, nothing has changed. But in an unprecedented move by WMATA, or WMATA, the metro was actually shut down for a full 24 hours on Wednesday, March 16th, for extensive repairs of all the lines. The Metro Board was concerned about broken cable wires that could cause fires, such as the one that occurred at L'Enfant Plaza last year. Still, despite what was a fairly reasonable explanation, many were unhappy with the shutdown. And the chaos only continues. Despite shutting down the entire city for a full day, the Metro's problems have only gotten worse. Just this past Wednesday, Metro Board Chairman Jack Evans had some bad news for Metro riders, saying, quote, "So in order to do repairs that are necessary, it may come to the point where we have to close the entire Blue Line for 6 months. People will go crazy. But there are going to be hard decisions that have to be made in order to get this fixed." Sort of like the captain of the Titanic who had to tell everyone that everything would be fine. They were just on a sinking ship. Now, no one said they were going to definitely shut down the Blue Line, but they just sort of said that they might shut it down for maybe 6 months, half a year. They could shut down the Blue Line for half a year. Okay, so we did some math. We did math. So we figure if people can't ride the Blue Line, they'll turn to Uber, naturally. Uber, you've heard of it. It's like, you know what Uber is. So that without surge pricing to get from one side of the Blue Line to the other, say from Largo Town Center to Franconia Springfield, it's an estimated $32 to $43, right? And again, this is without surge pricing, and you better believe there will be surge pricing when the entire Blue Line shuts down. Hypothetical, yes, I know, still scary. But you do have options, though. You could carpool to work. That's good for the environment, but the traffic, it's already terrible, and it's just going to get worse. You could bike, Capital Bike Share, that's a thing. Or you could, I guess, use your legs. Some people do that, right? But it might be hard to walk. People will start walking on the sidewalks, but then they'll find themselves getting mowed down by bikes who will be biking on the sidewalks because they can't bike on the street because you're all too busy carpooling and creating traffic and safety issues for bikers. So obviously you can't bike on the road. Ambulances. You can travel in ambulances. You'll probably end up in one of those anyway, so might as well get used to it. So that makes me real excited about DC come this summer. Anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break, so stay tuned.
Raise high. This isn't just our battle cry. It's our call, our challenge. Because when you are called to Washington, you are called to higher expectations, to a higher standard. We are called here to advance knowledge, to serve society, to change the world. This is the George Washington University, and what we make is history. So stand up, be bold, take risks, press on, push harder, raise high.
Welcome back to DC2LA. With me now is senior and newly retired RHA president, Mike Mazzaroli.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, thanks for being on. So, Mike, you were the RHA president for a year?
Yes.
And what does the RHA do?
So basically, RHA has two main purposes. One, we put on different programs and events in the residence halls to benefit the residents, sort of build a better community. And then two, which this is the part I was more intricately involved with, as president, we sort of coordinate advocacy projects to try and better the lives of people who actually live in the residence halls. This could be anything from, just common space or facilities improvements to pretty large projects like summer renovations or the Thurston Kitchen.
Okay. Wait, so was there a new thing with the Thurston Kitchen?
Well, so before last spring, Thurston, which is the biggest residence hall on campus, had no kitchen, no communal kitchen, no kitchens in the rooms, nothing. And it was the only residence hall on campus where students could not cook, as much as they might want to. They just didn't have the ability to. But our RHA, our hall council in Thurston, along with our executive board and different administrators, thought, hey, students ought to have the ability to cook in this building. It was the last building on campus where they couldn't.
So is it like everything else in Thurston? Did you kind of break the mold? It's Thurston, super nice kitchen,
is it very nice for Thurston, especially.
So you're grading on the curve here.
Yes,
there's one or two cockroaches, but
it's not a bad kitchen.
It
could still use a little love, but it's not all things said. It's not too bad of a kitchen.
That's nice. I was on the Vern my freshman year, so it was we had a kitchen, but we were really lonely when we used it.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Are you about to knock? I want. So actually, this is a question. So the Vern for there was a lot of really good community on the Vern. So that's does the RHA want to bring more to the Vern? Do you want to make it more I think when you're on the Vern, you kind of feel separated from the people on Foggy. Is it more about just within the residence halls? Sorry, I'm not getting this. With the RHA, are you trying to build more community between residence halls or within?
Oh, I mean, we've done I mean, I know this past year, our outgoing executive board, several members of it had lived on the Vern at one point or another.
Okay. Were
So
they the weird ones?
No, we were all weird.
Okay.
But so we had a pretty good perspective on like the needs of the Vern and like the needs of those residents, and like really were able to think critically about like how we could try and not only build a community within their individual halls on the Vern at large, but bring them into the just larger GW community. And so, I know pretty much we've had some great events on the Vern between different residence halls, like in the quad. I know right when I started on RHA, or on the RHAE board, when I was executive vice president, one of the first events we had was like a movie night on the Vern on the soccer field, which was a lot of fun. So we try and just bring little fun things there that can sort of get them not only events that they can do in their halls, but events that they can go outside, bond with other residents on the Vern, and then we try and give them a voice in RHA to really express the concerns of people who are living on that campus, and sort of give them the opportunity to elevate them, to different administrators and different people who can actually make sure that the Vern is getting the fair share of resources that it needs.
That's cool. So, RHA elections just happened. You are now deposed.
Yes.
Looking forward, what do you want to see the RHA do? Like, what are your hopes?
So frankly, when I came to GW, RHA was struggling. I know my freshman year, there were a lot of issues with how RHA was spending its money.
Right.
The work that RHA was doing, which really wasn't as substantive as it is now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like our freshman year, kind of were confused. They weren't quite sure that RHA was like a different thing from the SA.
Yeah. That's one big thing going forward is, just continuing to, honestly, like the simplest way to put it is stay relevant and just make sure that we're still doing the work we're supposed to be doing, still involved in the issues that we should be involved in. Because I know there were times in the past where RHA sort of dropped the ball and the SA just sort of sublimated all of RHA's responsibilities, and RHA was essentially just an organization which would occasionally give you pizza in your lobby, but didn't do anything else.
I should actually fess up. So my sophomore year, I was the executive chair of Amsterdam Hall. The way that happened was that basically nobody ran.
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
And I ran a write-in campaign that consisted of one flyer in an elevator that said, "Write in Kevin Palermo for executive chair," because why the hell not?
Makes sense.
And it worked. The problem is I went to, I think, one meeting. I voted to approve the budget, and then I didn't do anything.
It happens. Like, honestly, I think, especially back then, RHA wasn't the most substantive, engaging experience that it could be. So a lot.
Did you take over for Ari?
Yes. So I replaced Ari. Ari was my predecessor. I was actually Ari's vice president.
Right.
But back when I was a sophomore, when I joined RHA, because I ran for it freshman year and lost, when I was a sophomore on the iHouse Hall Council, I honestly found that RHA wasn't really that engrossing. I mean, I went to the meetings, but there wasn't really that much to do. I wasn't really engaged, and I didn't really feel like I had the tools given to me to really grab hold of my position and actually get super involved in the organization. Yeah. So that was a big part of the reason I ran for e-board, to try and keep the general body more engaged. And the past couple of years we've really tried to do that. I think we've succeeded in a lot of ways. I know this year our hall councils had more events in the fall than we had all of last year total. So we really are getting out there, getting stuff done, which is great.
So where do you live now? Do you live on campus?
I actually still live in iHouse. I've lived there for 3 years now.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, is it agree?
Yeah, I live on the beta floor. It's the 9th floor.
Okay.
I've had a single the past 2 years, which is pretty nice. I don't have a kitchen, but I don't cook. I'm not going to pretend I cook. But I actually like iHouse.
You like iHouse?
Yeah.
It seems loud from the outside.
It could be a little loud.
Yeah.
It's been a good experience being able to live with people I know,
Sure.
my brothers, on the same floor. Having a single is very nice.
Yeah.
And honestly, iHouse, when I came in sophomore year, it was a little rough around the edges. It could have used a lot of help, and it actually got a lot of help the past couple of years. It's been renovated in some way, shape, or form 2 summers in a row. So it's got brand new furniture, all new fixtures, like new bathrooms, new kitchens for those who have them. So it's a pretty different place than when I lived there sophomore year.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll buy it. So I live off campus now, and it's definitely changed. I live pretty close to iHouse. I lived in Dakota, and then I moved across the street from Dakota. But you do realize when you move off campus, like, it's not supposed to be that much sound all the time.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah. We're gonna play a quick game of Would You Rather. So basically, we're gonna go through some places, and we're places to live, and you tell me which one you'd pick. All right. Would you rather live in a JBKO quad with some localized mold, but you don't worry, like fix it, paint it over it, or a Merriweather double circa last year when they were having all those like weird carbon monoxide problems?
I'd probably rather live in a JBKO quad just because I'd look a lot out of place in Merriweather just being a guy.
Sure.
It might be a little hard to pull off.
Okay. Fair enough. Would you rather have a pair of underwear go missing in your communal laundry room or wind up with a pair of underwear that isn't yours in your laundry basket?
I cherish the underwear that I have. I had to get a lot over Christmas because I just sort of run out eventually. I don't know what the hell happens to it. And so I'm not trying to lose any of it. I've actually had a lot of people just throw their underwear or other assorted laundry into my washers and dryers. So I've could have accumulated a lot of clothes.
Sure.
I don't really want them, but
The question is, if just someone else's underwear just ends up like in your basket, how?
I don't know. I think so. So
Right?
I always just imagine someone's like, I just got to wash this one pair of underwear. They're just ripping open my friggin' washer and just shoving it in there and trying to like
pull
a fast one on me or something.
Your laundry.
So it's happened to me enough times. I could deal with that again. I'm not trying to lose any more underwear.
Fair enough. All right, this is a tough one. Would you rather live in a double in iHouse but on a non-Greek floor, or Fulbright in a room with a kick-down door because of the fires?
I cherish my privacy, so I like as many doors as possible.
Okay.
So I'd probably rather live in iHouse on a non-Greek floor. I think I could put up with that. Especially if you're in a double, you got a good chance of having a balcony, which I couldn't complain about.
Okay. All right. Here's another one. Would you rather live in a Mitchell single infested with cockroaches, or a Munson quad also infested with cockroaches?
Probably a Mitchell single. I've liked living in a single the past couple of years.
All right, fair enough.
I'm sort of a weird dude. I like living in a single.
No, a lot of people like singles. It's just that the Mitchell ones is like you also have the communal bathroom and all that.
I think I could put up with that.
The cabin fever and all that. So, would you rather live in a Thurston 6 where you will never ever be alone, or single on the Vern where you live in isolation?
I honestly think sometimes it would be a little peaceful to live in a single on the Vern. I think I could probably.
I think
the Vern. Maybe freshman year. I mean, I lived in Potomac freshman year, and I sort of felt like I missed something. Maybe freshman year, I would have put up with like living in a 6 in Thurston just for like the novelty of it. Sure. As like a quasi-adult or like a pretend adult at this point, I don't think I'd want to do that.
Yeah, very fair. All right, well, thank you so much. That's all the time we have. We're going to go to a short commercial break, so stick around. And that's it. My last show. Excuse me, I'm getting emotional. really over. Have a great day, GW, and I'll see you next time. Well, probably not. This is probably it for me. I don't really know where the road takes me now. I'll probably die on the metro, though, so who's really say, really? Cable fires only kill like a few people a year. And the other fires in like Fulbright, I don't think anyone died in that, though. I hope not. That would be really dark.